Hi, this is Mrs. Gallagher, and today we're going to discuss volume of cylinders. So let's refresh what volume is. Volume is the number of cubic units needed to fill a solid. Remember, volume is your total inside space. So it's your total inside space. So to find the volume of a cylinder, you're going to multiply the base area by the height. Now, when discussing cylinders, we have two bases that are parallel. And these two bases, if you look below, are actually congruent circles. If we look at example 1 below and example 2, the bases are congruent circles. Therefore, our formula is volume equals base times height. And what is the base of the cylinder? It is a circle. So since the area of the base is a circle, and the area of a circle is pi times radius squared, we will then multiply the area of the circle by the height. Okay, so we're going to multiply the area of a circle by the height of the solid, since cylinders are solids. Therefore, to find the volume of a cylinder, you're going to multiply pi times radius squared, which is the area of the circle, by the height of the solid. So we're going to multiply the area of a circle, which is our base, by the height of the solid. So let's do some examples together. So let's look at example 1, and we want to first identify our solid, and this is a cylinder. So our formula for a cylinder is volume equals pi times radius squared times your height. So our radius is half the diameter, so our radius here, we'll label it as 4, that's our radius, and our height is how tall? And that's 11. So now to replace our formula with our information, so volume equals pi, our radius is 4, and you're squaring that, and then you're going to times that by 11. Now you want to follow the order of operations, so we want to square first. I suggest you always square first. So 4 squared is 16, so volume equals pi times 16 times 11. My next step, what I like to do next, is multiply my numbers. So 16 times 11 gives us 176. So volume equals 176 times pi. Now we're going to use the pi button in our calculator. So you're going to multiply 176 times pi, and you're going to get 552.90307. We'll write 5 decimals down. And if you look here, it says find the volume to the nearest tenth. Your tenth is your first place value. So you look behind it, it's a 0. Since it's a 0, it's going to stay the same. So your answer is volume is approximately 552.9 centimeters cubed. Remember to label cubed because we're dealing with volume. So remember to label our units cubed. All right, let's look at example 2. And we have a cylinder, and again, we're going to use our formula. Volume equals pi times radius squared times your height. So let's identify our radius and our height. So radius is half your diameter of the circle, and if you notice here, 18 is our diameter. So how do you find your radius? You're just going to divide. Your radius is equal to half the diameter. So you're saying 18 divided by 2, and that gives us 9. So that's your radius. Your radius is equal to 9. So your radius is equal to 9. And then your height is going to be 12. So let's replace it. Volume equals pi. My radius is 9. You're squaring that. And then you're timesing that by 12, which is your height. Then your volume equals pi. You want to square first. 9 squared, which is 81. Times it by 12. Your next step that I like to do is multiply my numbers. It eliminates mistakes doing each piece, each step. So 81 times 12 gives us 972 times pi. And when you multiply 972 times pi, we use the pi button, you will get 3,053.628.059. We'll just keep it at that. And we want to find the volume to the nearest tenth. So again, look at your 6. Look behind it. It's a 2. Therefore, it stays the same. So your final answer is 3,053.6 inches cubed. And that is our approximate answer. Okay, let's look at another example together. So let's look at example 3. It says, given the following figure, find the volume. And we want to leave it in terms of pi. So that's the difference here. We're leaving it in terms of pi. So if you look at our figure here, at this cylinder, choosing your formula, volume equals pi times radius squared times h. Our radius is 6, and h is our height. So let's plug it in. Volume equals pi. Our radius is 6 squared, and you're timesing that by 3. I like to always square first, following order of operations. So volume equals pi. 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36, times 3. Next step is to multiply 36 times 3. So volume equals 36 times 3 is 108. And then times pi. And it says leave in terms of pi. We're leaving it in terms of pi. So therefore, that's our answer. And we're going to label it inches cubed. So sometimes you will see the question state, leave it in terms of pi, and that is what it means when you leave it in terms of pi. Okay, so let's look at example 4. It says, determining missing lengths. The volume of a cylinder is 405 pi with a diameter of 18. Find the height of the cylinder. This is a little bit different. It's asking us to find the height of the cylinder. So let's first write down our formula for the volume of a cylinder. Volume equals pi times radius squared times our height. So what's this problem telling us? What did they give us in the problem? Okay, well first it says the volume of a cylinder is 405 pi. So let's replace our V, our volume, with 405 pi. Okay, and that equals, pi is given. All right, let's see what else is in the problem. It says with a diameter of 18. So if the diameter is 18, we need the radius when we're dealing with volume of a cylinder. So our radius would be 9. So our radius is equal to 9. So let's replace that with 9 squared. And the question is asking us to find the height. So we're looking for height. So we'll put h here. So now we can solve for the height. So what's our first step? Let's first square 9 squared. Let's rewrite 405 pi equals pi. 9 squared is 81. And then we have our h. Okay. Our next step is you want to get our h by itself. We want to get height by itself. Well, what operation is this right here? What are we doing here? Multiplication. And how do we undo multiplication? By using division. So we divide both sides by 81 pi. 81 pi to get h by itself. Now the pi's are going to cancel here, and so is the 81. So we're left with h. So we have our height. That's our h. So when we divide this right here, that's going to give us our height. So if you look here, we're going to divide 405 by 81, and that's going to give us 5. And then what happens with the pi's? Well, pi over pi equals 1. Anything divided by itself equals 1, so they cancel out. Therefore, your answer is 5 units is equal to our height. And that is your final answer. So now what I'd like you to do is the U-try section. Please complete problems 1 and 2 in addition to problems 3 and 4, and we will discuss them in class. Thank you.